overview of what to expect if you've decided that you're going to consider weight loss surgery. Now, specifically what I'm going to be talking about is gastric sleeve surgery. However, most if not all of what I talk about will also apply if you're getting gastric bypass. So there is an entire process that happens before you get surgery. Oftentimes it's months to a year before you're actually able to go into the operating room. So the goal of this channel is to share information, be a source of support, and cultivate a community for adults contemplating weight loss surgery from the beginning of the journey through post-op. So I'll be talking about my experience so that it's relatable, but let's just get started. So back in April, I was reviewing my health before going for my annual physical. So it was that time of the year where you're getting ready to have your annual physical, and I was kind of reviewing everything, making sure I knew what medications I take and the dosages, so that when the medical assistant kind of went through my paperwork, that everything was accurate. And I was feeling down because yet another year had gone by and I hadn't met my weight loss goal. And as if a little birdie spoke into my ear, the idea of weight loss surgery entered my mind. Now, I didn't know what that would look like. I know that there are a variety of different styles and different types of surgery, so I didn't know exactly what that meant, but I felt like it was the time to start talking about it with my doctor. I was very anxious that my doctor was going to offer another alternative, like that diabetes medication that people are talking about. Is it Ozempic? I was really worried that that was what was going to be suggested, and I didn't want to be taking something for the rest of my life. So I've been seeing my primary care physician for almost 20 years, so she knows me really well, and I had a lot of anxiety thinking she's gonna just say, you can do it, or try this other thing. But the truth of the matter is, I feel like I've tried everything, and that's the spot that we end up in when we're considering weight loss surgery. So I even rehearsed in the mirror before going to my physical. I knew I was going to wait till toward the end of the appointment, and here's what I said. I said, when she said, "Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?" I said, "Well, I've been giving it some thought, and I'm ready to begin the very thoughtful process of considering weight loss surgery." That was the line that I gave her because I thought that made me look really thoughtful, and that I wasn't just being flippant, and that I wasn't trying to take an easy way out, which you'll find out if you explore this process, that weight loss surgery is not a quick and easy way out. Trust me, it's a process. And to my relief and to my surprise, she just looked at me and went, "That makes a lot of sense." And I was like, so then she gave me an idea of where to look, that was affiliated with that medical system. And I went online, which you'll do your own Google search. I know when you're considering weight loss surgery, you'll do a Google search to see what's nearby, right? And I did that. There was a video that I watched that kind of gave me an idea about a couple of different types of surgery, basically gastric sleeve and gastric bypass. So that's what happened. So the next day, she wrote a referral for me, first of all. So she had already kind of gotten the process started. And then the next morning, I made a phone call and said that I was ready to look into this. And they referred me back to a video, and I had to watch a video and then fill out a questionnaire. And then as soon as I was done with that, I think it was the following day, I got a call back to schedule my first appointment. So between having my annual physical and getting in to talk to someone, it was like a week. So what they'll do first probably is to try to figure out if insurance will cover it. And if insurance does indeed cover the procedure, there will be a list of requirements from the insurance company, and then there's also a list of requirements from the bariatric program that you're enrolled in. Sometimes those requirements line up perfectly. Most of the time, the insurance company is going to be a little more difficult to work with than the bariatric community. The bariatric community is going to be a team of different types of medical professionals that are all handling different areas of what's happening, and they will meet together as a team to make sure that you're a good candidate. But then there will also be requirements from your insurance company. So what my bariatric team did is they had someone from billing actually call my insurance company and say, what are your requirements for this surgery? They took very careful notes and they wrote a reference number down so that if there are any problems in the future, they can look up that phone call and review it. Also, they gave me a cheat sheet of questions to ask my insurance company so that we were both asking the insurance company the same questions. I'm just going to have to work with this wind because if I wait for perfect conditions, I'm never going to film this video. So anyway, they'll give you, they gave me a cheat sheet to go ahead and call the insurance company and ask them what their requirements are. So if your bariatric team doesn't do that, you should definitely look up your policy, and then I'll give you an idea of some questions to ask. They wanted to know my BMI, your body mass index, and depending on your insurance, it could be anywhere from like 30 BMI with a medical condition or two and up, or it could be between 35 and 40 without a pre-existing medical condition. So I have sleep apnea and I have chronic venous insufficiency. That's a problem with blood flow in my legs. So those were two pre-existing conditions that automatically made me qualify as long as I was over a 30 BMI. I started at like 39 point something BMI. So they wanted to know that, my weight, and let me just focus on the insurance company first. Let's see. They wanted to know what my weight loss attempts have been in the last year. They wanted a list of like all the programs that I had tried. I needed to participate in a nutrition and exercise program with some documentation. And then for my particular insurance company, which was a Blue Cross Blue Shield out of state from where I actually live, is where the policy is. It had to be a total of 6 months in duration and occur within a year prior to surgery. I couldn't gain weight during the program, which causes me the most anxiety because I can't gain weight in between visits. So if I have a visit at the beginning of the month with the physician's assistant, for example, and then 3 weeks later I might have to have a visit with a dietitian, I can't gain any weight. So think about the reasons why you might have an extra pound on you, what you're wearing, that you've had a couple of meals that day, any water that you're retaining, any waste in your body, like those are all reasons why you could have an extra pound, or you could be a pound or two above what you were a month before. So that has caused a lot of anxiety for me. That's the most stressful part of it. So you do need to lose weight throughout the program and then never gain weight within that time frame. So that was really anxiety reducing for me. Let's see. Exercise. Let's see. You can't smoke, which I don't anyway. And I know every visit I'm asked if I wear my CPAP, which I do. So there was a whole list of requirements from the insurance company. And then the bariatric program has a list of requirements, which involved having a medical evaluation by the physician assistant, completing a dietary evaluation by the registered dietitian, having a psych evaluation, which I will do a separate video on the psych evaluation. That is worth having an entire video dedicated to that. You're required to make changes to your diet and lifestyle before the surgery. I had to submit a letter of support from my primary care doctor. Fortunately, they kind of crafted a form letter, and then my doctor was just able to sign it. And since she had produced the referral, she was more than happy to do that. She was on board. I had to call the health insurance company to ask about everything that's required for surgery. I have to document my weight loss and my exercise, and I would have to stop nicotine or any drug use, which wasn't a problem. If I had diabetes or a problem with blood sugar or problem with blood pressure, I'd have to be working on that. So if anyone tells you this is like an easy way out, it's not. It's a very thoughtful process. If I'm repeating anything, I apologize. I'm just trying to be thorough. So I scheduled a one-on-one appointment with a dietitian. I've had to watch videos. I've started adding some vitamins, including a multivitamin and calcium. I had to attend a support group meeting, which was just one virtual appointment online. Exercise, making changes to your diet. So that's kind of an overview. Now, my original annual physical was in April, and then at the end of April, and then like the next week is when I started with the bariatric clinic, and my surgery will probably be in November. So think about May to November. That's the process. So, in addition to all of those things, you will have, you'll have to change your diet. You'll have like a specific diet that you'll have to follow for 2 to 4 weeks before surgery, which will be a very restricted diet. I think that maybe I'll do a video just on that specifically, but it's kind of getting your body ready for this surgery. There's a special drink that you'll drink the night before. Also, during when I was making the determination of whether or not I was going to do gastric sleeve or gastric bypass, I was shown kind of a diagram. They knew my weight, so they were able to give me an estimation of what my weight would be if I did nothing from now until then and didn't lose any weight, and then just went on what the effects of the surgery would be. So my starting weight was 220, and I've actually already lost quite a bit of weight. I'm already down to like 203. So started at 220, and they estimated that if I didn't do any exercise at all and just had the surgery, that my estimated weight after 1 year would be 153. So you can do the math. I haven't done the math on that. Started out at 220. They expected a year from then I'd be down to like 153. Now it will be lower than that because I've already lost almost 20 pounds. And then they compared that with the gastric bypass. Again, starting at 220, they expected that I would, after a year, I would get down to like 139. I was a little worried that the gastric bypass would be too extreme because, like I said, I've already lost almost 20 pounds. And I think that I would probably lose too much weight with that, or I would be at risk of that. Now the gastric sleeve is when they basically staple down the middle of your stomach, and then they do 2 lines of staples, and then they pull part of it out. And then the gastric bypass is more of like rerouting, so that your stomach isn't used as much, but it's still kind of there. So that's kind of an overview of what happens up until the time that you have surgery. So if you are just starting the weight loss surgery process, then we are holding hands and kind of going through this journey together, and we can share notes on that. If I am post-op now and you saw that video first and now you're kind of coming back and binge watching, then I hope that I offer some information that's helpful. But I'm sort of well into the preparation phase for it, and then the journey will continue after the weight loss surgery, so after the gastric sleeve surgery. So that's where we are. So thanks for listening. Stay tuned. I will be reviewing what happens at the psych eval and different things that happen along the way, and different components actually of what I've already talked about. I'll go into more details. So subscribe if this interests you, leave a comment, ask questions, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Awkward. I'm trying to turn off the video with my watch. There it is. Okay.